Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with track days and I am on race 60. Now, just as a point, race 59, if you have the Pro Leagues Showdown, there's a 300% bonus that kicks in when you beat that race, which lasts for 24 hours. So you might want to plan around that if you have that showdown because, you know, as far as getting the League Showdown points, that 300% is extremely helpful. But outside of that, really, none of these things are super challenging until about race 60 to 70s is when things start to get a little tougher. This is why I'm not showing you race 1 through 60. You should not have any problems getting that far. And if you do have problems getting this far, then your car's definitely not upgraded enough and you're going to need a lot more parts. So once we get past race 60, I should say, we're starting to get into the more interesting races. And at race 65, we're going to be locking in that Continental GT3, which is a very good car overall. In fact, it will finish this event without even having to be fully stage 5. So that is the good news. The bad news is, of course, there are some cars in here that are required, which are a lot tougher to set up and drive for that matter. And one of them is the Xbow. The other one is the BT62 Goodyear edition, if that's the one that you decide to build to go through this event. Both those cars need a decent amount of parts to accomplish a lot of these speed traps and other things. I'm going to show you what I'm doing to try to get through and what parts I'm using in a bit. But basically, it's not too hard to do, but it definitely has limitations, especially BT62 is very dependent on stage 6s. For example, missing body, missing trans, and you'll notice your top speed drops from 300 something right down to like 280 something. You may be able to tune and squeeze out another few miles per hour out of it, but even that 292 is going to be extremely challenging if you don't have those particular stage 6s. Now, another car that really is not fun to mess with is this guy, which I have set up for the 233 speed trap because I know that's coming. And basically, that's just a car that you just need to make sure nitrous is going to be there and keep the car pushing on nitrous all the way through the speed trap and you should be fine. It's a very quick shifting car, so for most of us, depending on what parts we have, you want to get out of first gear almost immediately after launch and then try to hit nitrous as soon as you can while shifting through the additional gears. These are the pre-race 65 speed traps. These are not the fastest ones. You got much tougher ones coming. So that tells me that at least with these cars, the level of upgrades I have now should be enough because, you know, I know that the Xbow ultimately has a 233. I forgot what the BT62s is, and this one I think it's 300 something as well for the final speed trap, but certainly unlikely to hit 321 because this car's basically fully maxed. I have two fully maxed cars in the grouping right now. I've always said, even during my take on this event, that your first lock-in should be a maxed out car just to be safe. And this car should be close to max, if not max, because in order to get the BT62, you would have needed it. Now we're locking in the Continental GT3, which I've already built and tested in live racing. And it is also set up without all parts yet because right now we're just trying to see how tough it is to get through everything. The fully maxed cars will help you in a few ways. One is that it helps you leverage through these relays because you'll have two cars at least that are very fast and then a few that might not be as quick but can still do the job. The Huracan Coupe I specifically saved for this event because I wanted to make sure I don't have any issues getting through, and this is a fast car when fully maxed, and you can also elite level it to make it even faster. So I used a bunch of other cars for my prior event lock-ins and I saved the Huracan for this one. Now, some of you might have used the Huracan in the beginning events and now you're using the tier 3 or tier 2 car. Generally what I see is that the difficulties are adjusted accordingly, so you should still be fine, but you're going to be a little more stressed out than I am, because most likely your first race, that tier 5 car is going to run out the track on you before you're halfway down the track, and then you're going to have to make it up with the rest of these cars. But they should also make some of these slower, so that in the end the ultimate time should still be something that's beatable, especially if your first car is fully maxed with all stage 6s and all fusions. Right, so the good news is the Xbow R, even though it's not a great car in some sense, is pretty good at these short quarter-mile runs, doing 4 seconds something to 5 seconds. So it's a pretty decently quick car for this. So it helps to keep this time overall down and make sure that you have the ability to try to beat and finish these relays. And that's not fully maxed. I mean, fully maxed, I think it can do 4 seconds something. So it's a pretty quick quarter-mile car. The same can be said for the BT62. It's a quick car in the quarter mile. Therefore, for relay purposes, even without fully fusioned out and full stage 6s, running 4s and low 5s will help you make sure you get through pretty good. And the Continental, which I'm running some stage 4, some stage 5, and I think nitrous is only stage 2. I'm not sure, but it's obviously not set up for quick sprints, but it should be okay for what I'm trying to do here, which is to get through. Yep, so that's the slowest out of my cars at 5.8 or 6 seconds almost. But you can see that they're all 5, 5, 5, 5, and 4, 26 seconds, 36 seconds. So that's my ultimate speed here without more upgrades. As long as the relays don't get faster than that, I shouldn't have a problem. Alright, so moving right along, we're now into the final stretch here. Last basically 14 races to get through this event. The Bentley event, I mean not the event, but the Bentley challenges in this, there are only really one tough one, and that's race 79, and that's even not that tough. It's a 294 mile per hour speed trap. Other than that, I think for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy here that you have to deal with. As you can see, the opponent, they're giving you moving super slow. So I don't foresee much of an issue here. With the parts I have, 8.7 against a 17, that's almost laughable how slow the opponent's running. But I'm sure that'll escalate in the last 10 races. But again, the time challenges overall for this event hasn't been something truly crazy. Okay, let's see if this gets any tougher. Alright, so the Bentley has an interesting thing going about it, which is if you want to run the best time with it, with certain level of upgrades, it's to not get a needle drop. But once you get to a certain point where you have higher level upgrade, you actually want the needle drop. So to get the needle drop, you just have to launch later. As you can see, I actually did 8.9 when I didn't have a needle drop, and I did 8.7 when I had a needle drop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that needle drop again. Okay, so I'm just going to get the needle drop. 3, 4, 5, 6. You can hit nitrous 5th. Generally, that'll get you a good run out of it. So once again, 8.7. I think my dyno's right around this too. You're not really beating dyno with this setup, but 8.7 versus 8.9 when you don't get a needle drop. So naturally, it's better to get the needle drop for this level of upgrade. Now, if you're much less upgrades and you're running stage 3 and stage 4 only for trans and some stage 2s, it's a great car still, but in that situation, I think needle drop actually hurts you. So you have to play with the various launch points and figure out what works best for this car. But it basically does pretty well with a little bit of needle drop when it's a higher level of upgrade. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, 8.7 is pretty consistently here. The good news is if you realize that the needle drop is the best way to drive this car, it's actually more consistent to launch it in live. You just have to launch late and the needle automatically drops and you're good to go. So it's actually easier to drive in live with the needle drop than without, because that requires actually better timing to get the launch exactly right. The dialogue is as lame as they always are. I basically don't read them. We're not on good terms with shacks. What does that got to do with us being on a track? I mean, there are plenty of tracks around the world. So, lame excuses. Somebody cheaped out. Besides, it's a drag racing game, which you expect. Alright. 2, 3, 5, 6. Nitrous in 5th with enough duration, I think is, but it's kind of a wash. I mean, I'm kind of running about the same nitrous 5th, nitrous 6th. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot here. Okay. Alright. So, time has dropped from 17 to 11 in about 3-4 races. So the time has been escalating pretty quickly, but nothing close to my 8s yet. And don't forget, if you're fully stage 5, this car will do faster than 8.7. It's actually a low 8 car. You can probably get about an 8.2 out of the car, which is great. It's a very fast car at stage 5 only, that Bentley. Okay, let's see. 7.9 should be good enough. Oh, and here comes Extreme. Let's see what challenge that is. That's only race 72. And it's already saying it's Extreme. That's not a good sign. Probably a speed trap. Yep, it is. Okay, so 233. Of course it's Extreme. That's basically what this car hits at the very end. I mean, it can barely hit that because I have it tuned for that. Okay. I just needed to push past 233, and there it is. Okay. So while it's Extreme, Xbow didn't have a hard time doing it. I'll go back later. Actually, you know what? I'll go back now. I'll just show you what I did with this car to get that 233, because some of you probably are going to be curious just how upgraded that car is to hit that 233 mile per hour, which is the final challenge. Okay, so later we'll add gas with gold. So this is a Continental. Notice I'll show you that car setup later as well for the 294 speed trap. But let's go over to the KTM, which is under K. Before Lamborghini, after Koenigsegg, should be right here. Okay. Ooh, I got a Fusion too. Alright. Alright, so what I found out about the KTM is that it's very high grip, a little bit like the Huracan, right? So it tends to grip really hard, and some of its parts, because I'm missing Fusions, I just dropped the trans, I dropped turbo, I dropped intake. I didn't have intake. I dropped turbo. So those I don't have. For the most part, the rest of it is fully maxed. Nitrous is important, but as long as you have enough duration to push that car at the very end without running out of nitrous, you should be fine. Body, tire, engine is pretty important to get that speed trap. But one thing you can do with this car is you can tune it to get a little bit easier top speed, and I'll show you how that works. So obviously you want a pretty long duration. I mean, you can do it this way too. You can see that actually pushes it more because it's a stronger nitrous. It'll push your car beyond the 233, but the difference is that, of course, you have to learn to use the nitrous a lot later. It does, however, hurt the time quite a bit. The 8.0 is basically to give me a all-round, all I need to get through kind of deal. So that is 233 to 233, but a good time. Now, final drive, it's basically to set a 5th gear for whatever it is you're trying to hit. So I have it topping out at 233 in 5th gear. Even though the top speed theoretically is 300, it'll never hit that. And then this is where you can get more with this and better performance with more grip, but you won't get the top speed. So it's kind of just put it where it works for you, and you should be good to go. I just had it at usually 34 or 35 in this case, should get me 233. So that's how I managed to get that. Now you can also use the shorter nitrous to do it, but shorter nitrous duration means when you run the car, you're going to bang through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then use nitrous in fifth gear or in fourth gear where it won't run out at the end of the track. The key here is as long as there's nitrous still going at the very end of the quarter mile for that speed trap, you'll be fine. Alright, so this is a harder relay because we're getting to the point where we're using 3 of the slower cars for the relay rather than having the 2 fastest cars involved. But it should still be okay. These cars still sprint pretty well in the quarter mile, and therefore relays are not super difficult even if you're not fully maxed. Okay. Right. Here we go. I kind of skipped second there and went right basically into third, but didn't really, I don't think it hurt the performance that much. 5.2. I know that the BT62 is going to be 4.9, and then the Bentley is going to be a 5.8 or 5.7. So I know what my final time is going to be regardless. Okay. Okay, 4.9, 5.0. Okay, a little bit slower. Okay, so got a 2-second margin on them so far, and I don't think usually the opponents make up over 2 seconds of time against you. Few tenths, yes. 2 seconds, generally no. So I don't foresee this being overall an issue. For this one, I'm going to use nitrous a little bit earlier simply because I'm running quarter mile, not half mile. 5.6, 15.9, 17 seconds. Okay, so hard really is more like only if you screw up really bad, it would be hard. 2 seconds is a big time. Well, actually, no, a little bit less than 2 seconds, but it's a big amount of time for you to have as far as the gap is concerned. Ooh, level up, probably get some bronze keys. Yep, 25 bronze keys. And moving on. You're going to get 25 bronze keys or 35 gold forever and ever from leveling once you get past a certain point. Once in a while, maybe you see 100 gold, but I haven't seen that since level 30 or something like that. Okay. Race 74, Bentley, easy. So, again, nothing to stress over here. Race 76 should be the speed trap for the BT. Which, let's see what it is, because I don't remember what it is exactly when I did it on my other account. So let me go ahead and do my best here. Let's try 4th gear nitrous. Maybe it'll be a little bit quicker. Either way, the way the car's tuned out, it'll top out. So that one looks like it's slightly quicker. Slightly. I don't know, 5th gear actually I did better. I think I did an 8.717 earlier. So that's, yeah, it's about a wash. I mean, you're going to be right there depending on how well you launch it and where you shift the first few gears. Okay, let's move on. 75 should also be an easy race. Race 75. Right, so I did basically all perfect or early perfect shifts there, and that didn't actually make the car go quicker, so that was a little bit slow, but it's not too far off. Okay, more Bentley parts. I'm just glad I finally got a Bentley I don't feel bad about putting parts into, because this is like the only Bentley in the game that's any good. All the rest of the Bentleys, every time you put a Fusion in, you're like, I'm wasting my money, I'm wasting my resources. What a crappy car. Oh, so this speed trap's not bad. It's for the first car. Now, fortunately, this first car is maxed. And in case you wonder about Huracan speed traps, worst case scenario, lower grip. Lower tire grip, use nitrous late, and it will do whatever you'll need to do for a speed trap pretty easily. So in this case, because it's maxed out, 270. But even if it's not maxed, 236 really isn't that hard for this car to do. Okay, ooh, now we have an extreme race, and it's not a speed trap. Let's see what it is now. This is a time-based race, so if it says extreme, that means my car may not be fast enough. So now we're back to the drawing board as far as getting upgrades to get this done. Okay, for the Bentley, okay, so let's see what it is time-wise, because it's saying it's extreme, which isn't a good sign. Here comes the opponent. Whoa, that's pretty quick. And what is the time on that one? It's probably like 8.5. Yeah. Alright, that's no big deal. As I was saying earlier, I don't have this car set up with much of the stage 6s. No, I have this car set up, I mean, fully with stage 5s, not even any stage 6s. So I have a, I can tune this car back to like an 8.2 car. 8.3 on the dyno, probably 8.28. So all we're going to do is we're going to put some parts back in. See, notice I have, I didn't put body in. I'm on stage 3 tires, stage 4 trans. That's part of the reason why I am not doing 8.5s here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some of these back in. And it should take care of that without a problem. Stage 5 full fusion makes everything super easy. What I was going to show you is that stage 4 and stage 5 combined would easily hit that 294, but in this case I won't have any problem hitting 294 anyway. So we'll just max out the tune, 8.24. So you're going to easily beat that guy now who does 8.5s. So stage 5 only, even if you're missing a bunch of fusions, an 8.5 run shouldn't be difficult. A 294 mile per hour run shouldn't be difficult. Very easy car to use for these few in races here. So I'm going to go ahead and take him down, and then we'll do the relay, we'll do the speed trap, and we'll do the relay. Okay, here we go. Super easy. This event, ultimately, if you have the Xbow and the BT62 in good shape, really isn't a very hard event. It's not easy or anything, but overall, I don't consider it a hard event. Okay, so the car beats dyno a little bit. 8.128 on an 8.6 against an 8.655 opponent, which is actually a little bit slower than the first one, which is an 8.5 opponent. So if you're really close, trying it a few times to see if the next guy might be a 10 slower may work out for you. But unlike the PC Cup, you're probably not likely to find one car that's going to be like a whole second slower or something crazy like that. Okay, this one's an extreme. Double relay on extreme, and I have a fully maxed car here and a pretty much stage 5 car. Oh, okay, it's not that extreme. See, it's missing. It's 3/4 extreme, which, as I've done in many videos, I've told you, 3/4 extreme is more like somewhat hard. A little bit hard, not too bad, but certainly not extreme. Okay, so I'm not too worried about this one. Unless I totally botch my run with the Huracan, I should be fine. And I've driven this Huracan enough that I generally don't botch its runs that often. Okay, here we go. 5 seconds on that one, and probably around 5 seconds. Oh, it just went to hard, which is easy. Hard means easy. Easy means ridiculously easy. And then, basically, if you get easy, it means you really should not lose. You have to really, really try hard to lose. Hard just means you possibly could lose if you really tried a little bit hard to lose. And then, extreme. If it's 4-bar extreme, it's extreme. But 3-bar extreme, don't screw it up, you'll be fine. Okay. I think that extreme was more there to scare me than anything. Alright, so now we're going to that 294 mile per hour. If you have full stage 5 full fusion, you should definitely get 294 mile per hour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and take some parts out, and I'm going to show you that 294 mile per hour can be done with some stage 4s. You don't even need full stage 5. That's how good this car is. So stage 4, stage 4, stage 4. These three are kind of important to leave at stage 5. Nitrous can't hurt. So let's go back and take a look. Dyno is going to tell you that you can do 294 in the quarter mile. Maybe I have to tweak it a little. It says 287, but if you just go like that, it goes to 293 and one more notch, 294. Boom, there it is. Without having full stage 6s, 294 is possible. Full stage 6s, what am I saying? Full stage 5s. Without even having full stage 5s, we can do 294. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. And it's not even, Again, hard is easy. Easy is ridiculously easy. So this is not even going to be that much of a challenge to hit. No fancy shifting needed. No jumping gears. You just kind of drive it. And boom, 295 in the quarter mile. I think that might have hit 296. Oh, 297. Wow, okay. 296.8. So 296 basically without full stage 5. Easy peasy. And we're on to the last race, and we're going to win that Essenza. Okay. Once again, this is a 4-bar extreme. If that's the case, one of these cars might be too slow. Let's first do it once, because worst case scenario I lose. Oh no, it's 3.5 bar extreme, which is not totally extreme. It's pretty extreme because it's all the same crazy Nissan. That means they're all going to run the same time, and they're going to add them together times 5. You just have to be a little quicker with one of these cars, and you'll be fine. Okay, so let's find out what the first car does. If my first car wins, then I should be okay. I mean, except for my Bentley, which will be a little slower, but should be okay. Shouldn't be all that stressful. Okay, let's see if I can beat this Nissan on the first race. If I do, everything else is going to be much easier. Oh, with that gap? Come on. I am not impressed. Not impressed at all. Not extreme at all. This is silly easy. They should just drop the bar right back down to easy for me, because it's not going to be extreme. Not extreme at all. I'm not even driving this car right, and I'm doing fine. Okay, Xbow, 5 seconds all day long. So, you know, that's going to be another one that's going to run way ahead. So much for extreme. I did think they put it to red just to scare you. Go spend some money and upgrade your cars, because you need them. It's extreme, man. And then you go and you waste all your resources, and you come back and go, well, this was stupid. This is so sillily easy. So easy. I don't know why I upgraded my car. I don't know why I did it. What a waste. Silly easy. Okay, come on. Come on. What you got? What you got, Nissan? My BT62R will take care of you. The Goodyear edition. Very pretty livery on this one. This one looks good. And running 5.01. Alright, so it's all 5.849s for the other car. So, I mean, I have a 3 seconds. So they're going to end up at basically 29 seconds. That means I can run 8 seconds with this car and win. I don't think I'm going to run 8 seconds with that car, so I think I'm good. I am going to not use nitrous. I'm going to show off my stupendous lead by not using nitrous at all. I'm just going to, and I'll leave it in 5th gear. Ha! Ha! I turn my nose up at your Nissan. It is slow. Okay, so, yep, 29.2. I did a 26.2, 3-second margin of difference. Not with fully maxed cars. And that's all she wrote. We are done with the event. Give me my gold keys. And give me my car. I will take that Lamborghini now, thank you. Oh no, not before I have to read some really useless dialogue. Wow! Definitely not getting stuck in the conga line there. Well driven, buddy. Okay. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Lamborghini Essenza. I hope I'm not butchering the name. I know you guys get all upset when I butcher it. I try my best to butcher them, but sometimes I fail. Anyway, beautiful car. Absolutely beautiful car. I just really wish it was a better car in once it's upgraded. Now, is it a terrible car? No. It's not terrible if you maintain very minimal upgrades. It's somewhat viable. It also beats dyno a little bit naturally, so it's not a terrible car, and it's a gorgeous car. That's one thing I love about Lamborghinis. They have the look. Look at this thing. You park it next to that fat boy Bentley, and you go, oh, how can you even drive that Bentley? Look at this beauty here. But then when you put it in the game on the track, well, guess what? Big boy Bentley is going to be smacking you around like a pimp. Anyway, it concludes my little last 20 races in the Track Days event, which didn't take place on a track, unless you consider a drag strip a track. I mean, theoretically it is. Technically, it's arguably a track too, right? You do race on it. In any case, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Leave a like if you like the video. If you really dislike my channel and my videos, at least do me a favor and leave a dislike, because it still bumps the YouTube search engine up, so I still appreciate it. In any case, subscribe to the channel if you like my videos. This way you can get notifications when I put up new videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.